Hello, everyone. This is Tom, your host for the Hidden Truth Channel. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope you're doing well. Well, tonight's live stream is going to be on the Minnesota chaos, and the Greenland seems to be the next landmass that's in the crosshairs of America, and the possible impeachment of Trump. Trump's already talking about the midterms, so he knows the danger. Anyway, that's what we're going to discuss tonight. But I tell you what, this is why when I do my live streams, I never say the night before I never say the night before on what my live stream is going to be about the next day, because you never know. Because it sure has been an interesting news cycle today. I tell you what, ever since this year's begun, I mean, we're only a week into it. This is too much. I mean, we're on sensory overload, people. Boy, they're really making their move this year, aren't they? But anyway, yeah, all I can say is if you can see the writing on the wall, people, you might want to prepare for society to start breaking down. Because that's what's going to start happening. With this chaos in Minneapolis to us starting to expand our empire, I guess, if you want to call it that, and the repercussions we're going to face from that from the rest of the world. But yeah, things are definitely heating up. Boy, we're only a week into 2026. We still got 51 weeks to go. Crazy times, crazy time. Sure like to take a night off YouTube once, but you can't. This stuff keeps happening at record pace. People are so angry in this country that they're getting shot down in the streets now. Whatever the excuse is, okay, we all got to come together. But anyway, things are starting to get a little hairy out there. You're living in the big cities, you really got to be careful. Especially if everybody's picking sides now. And if they get angry at somebody that's on the other side and you just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, you'll become a victim. Both sides. This is just getting out of hand. Anyway, wait for a few people to show up so I can start this live stream, because I really like to get into the Minnesota chaos again and again with Minnesota, isn't it? Anyway, crazy times, people, crazy times, and we're only a week into the new year. I wonder what the Trump administration's New Year's resolution was. To have conquered the world in the first 6 months without anybody really knowing what happened. Anyway, let's get into it, though. The Minnesota chaos. You know, I don't understand people that are against ICE getting rid of illegals, okay? You know, I don't support the Trump administration on much, but getting rid of the illegals, I support them on. Hey, how's it going? Appreciate you being here. Rainy Pink. But anyway, you know, they need to go. So woman gets killed today because she messed with ICE a little bit too much, charged an ICE officer with her vehicle. And I saw the video and stuff. And this is getting out of hand. You know, another reason this is happening too. How long have they been protesting ICE now under Trump? At least 8 months. And he hasn't done nothing about it. And now since somebody got shot, now they're going to sit there and might makes right and bring even more military in to deal with it. You know, we wouldn't even be dealing with this if prior administrations would have followed the law and enforce our border laws and stuff. We wouldn't be dealing with this problem right now. But look, the government creates a problem with all these illegals, brings ICE in to solve the problem of these illegals, because the American people scream, we want something done about these illegals. We wouldn't be dealing with this if 27 million hadn't come illegally. Exactly. When our border is wide open, what do you expect? And it's like I say, it's not these people who are coming here to be Americans. They were coming up to set up shop of their own country in a little part of our country. But anyway, because this was allowed to persist for so long, I mean, it finally ended up this way. Is anybody surprised? I mean, let's admit it. ICE probably could have iced a few people already because of this shit. But I guess the ICE agents were stuck in the snow and trying to push their vehicle out, and some liberal gets in there and doesn't understand, okay? Most white males and black males know that if you fuck with the cops the wrong way, you're going to get the beat down. We all know that. We're not stupid. So you women going to come to the point that you start messing with them too bad? They're going to get at you? And then now what's the solution? I mean, Tim Walz is basically, in his own way, telling the U.S. government, we're not at war with you, but we're at war with you. I tell you, Minnesotans need to take their state back. Get rid of that governor, the Somalians, the whole damn works. But anyway, now, is this going to blow up into a George Floyd thing? I wonder out of this, right? It was a white woman that got killed. I wonder if Black Lives Matter is going to come out to protest and support this white woman that got killed, so we can say all lives matter now, right? That way we can say that then, and that's not racist to say all lives matter. I'm just saying this is how stupid this is going to get. Trump, you want to get rid of the illegals, like I'm telling you, in a way where you're not going to have this problem. Just get on the mic. You like talking to everybody so much. Get on the mic and say, okay, American citizens, we got an illegal problem with illegals in this country. We don't need their authorization or permission. But he goes, why don't you guys round them up? Don't hurt nobody, but round them up in your area, in your city, in your county, in your township, whatever you pay your taxes to. American citizens, round them up, call us up, and we'll give you $1,000 a head. And then you get a receipt for it too. So if they sit there and try to go around the corner and release them, okay? But, I think the government needs the help of the American citizen that wants the same thing that ICE wants. These illegals out of here. And we don't need amnesty for illegals that do jobs that Americans don't want to do. Because I do one of those jobs that you think Americans don't want to do. Okay? I love agriculture. I love getting my hands dirty. I love sweating when it's hot. Getting manure kicked in my face by a cow. Okay? Whatever. But you know how hard it is to sit there as a white guy to get the job in the agriculture industry because of all the H-1B visas? But anyway, this lady was wrong. She got involved in something she should have that she couldn't do nothing about. You're not going to stop. I don't care how much you guys protest. You're not going to stop ICE from doing their job. Okay? And obviously, if you get in their way or threaten their lives, you're going to get shot. And like I say, everybody's surprised about this. I'm surprised it took this long to happen. After what was going on in Portland and shit, how crazy those people got in Portland and nobody got shot except with pepper balls and stuff. We need to get rid of the illegals in this country. They're making your standard of living go down. Everybody's standard of living go down. It's not helping you out, none whatsoever. They're taking your tax dollars. Look at Minnesota, the Somalian fraud. And I said that at the beginning. Any government entitlement that they could have got, any one, they defrauded. And now we're finding out medical transportation, all the stuff. And even watch the pharmacies. There'll be medical fraud in the pharmacies. As a Minnesota liberal, how can you keep putting up with this? How? In Minneapolis, your mayor is talking in Somalian. Doesn't, as a English speaking Minnesotan American, doesn't that piss you off just a little bit? And the plus, you don't know what the hell he's saying. All countries have borders. Yeah, we do, because every culture is different. Okay? But see, this is the big map of the world when we get into Greenland here. There's no more, when people were feeling abused and wanted to get the fuck away from where they were living and stuff hundreds of years ago, there was still places to go in the world where nobody was yet. Well, I guess we had Native Americans here. But you could still, get away from the tyranny. There's no place like that no more. All right? Not even in this country anymore. But these people you just can't come up here and break our laws. You come in this country illegally, you're consciously becoming a criminal. Just like if an American were to enter another country illegally, you're going to be a criminal. And you will be treated as such in that country. Why do our laws have to be any different? Why does the American taxpayer, because we have such a high standard of living, why do we need to share our standard of living with the whole world because they can't get their act together? I hear all these Somalians are doing, making America great, the best thing that ever happened to America, because you guys are so inventive and just can turn things around. Well, what the hell's wrong with your country? I've been to Somalia, okay? It's a shithole, just like Trump said. Of course, that was 38 years ago I was there, but, I'm sure it hasn't improved much since then. Anyway, we fail as humans. God prophecy will be fulfilled. Yeah, and I do believe that the people in power are also doing their part in the prophecy, you might say. All I know, like I say, people, we got a world of hurt coming down this year. It's the first week in January of the year, and by the 10th day of the year, our military may occupy 2 different countries. Trump never said nothing about Greenland during the election. That's all I'm going to say about that. Anyway, hey, if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up, to subscribe, and the bell notification. Anything to help the channel grow, because social media is clamping down hard on all creators. All right? Even liberal channels are getting slammed down now. Somebody is out there trying to give his opinion, what's going on, the truth. Support that channel. Hit that thumbs up. Okay? Share their content. Not just mine. Because you got different opinions on both sides. You got some people that are actually, well, we're not getting into Greenland there. Let's stick with the Minnesota chaos first. Because, like I say, I would love to take a day off, but boy, this year's really just rolling down fast, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, you arrest Venezuela leader, but we wanted Tim Waltz arrested. Whatever, we get what we get, right? You think you will in the other old man. Okay, I messed something there. You don't have fun in life. Oh, I have fun in life. I have lots of fun in life. Are you enjoying your life? I'm absolutely enjoying my life. Like I say, dude, watch some of my other content. I have over 1,600 videos, okay? Over 1,300 shorts or 1,200 shorts. Look at it and see how I live. I live a very simple, humble life. I live a life to where I could sit there. We don't see what's affecting you in the big cities and all this stuff going on. We live in counties that have 4 cops in it because we don't have no crime. Less than 2,000 people. Okay? It hurts me to see that other Americans can't live free like me. Can't live it and leave it to Beaverland, traditional America. I still don't have to lock my doors. I don't have to take the keys out of my vehicles. Kids can play in town and not worried about being kidnapped. Nobody wears a freaking seatbelt. Yeah, imagine that place. I would wish the rest of America get like that. But no, we got chaos in Minnesota again. People, ICE is just doing its job. These are men that get paid to do their job, deport illegals. They got families they go home to every night. They got loved ones. They got mothers, fathers, wives, and children. Okay? What right do you have to take their dad or their mother away from them, or their son or daughter, because you're angry that they're doing their job? It's no different than, I don't know, you're a cashier at Walmart, and somehow somebody's mad at cashiers at Walmart, so they decide to start shooting you up because you're a cashier at Walmart when you have nothing to do with the problem. Like I say, the problem is we never made the other administrations enforce the law. We just looked at people coming across the border illegally. It's like, well, it's happening. We know about it, but like this famous line that Americans always say, there's nothing we can do about it. I get so tired of hearing that shit. And since we do nothing about it, this is what we have. If they would have been enforcing the border laws 25 years ago, this woman wouldn't have got shot because she wouldn't have been pissed off because ICE wouldn't have been there doing its job, enforcing immigration laws. And like I say, us men, whether you be white, black, Oriental, Mexican, if you're an American male, you know you get the beat down if you start messing with the cops. Maybe you liberal women need to figure that out. You try to run one of them over with the car, something bad might happen. Where's the disconnect? You're taking on cops. Something bad is going to happen because when you take on cops, you don't win, even if you're right. How many people did ICE deport in 2024? I don't know, not enough. Like I say, Trump needs to get in the microphone and say, hey, I need the civilians, I need your help. Start rounding up the illegals, call us up and we'll give you $1,000 a head. Like if he did that, 95% of them would leave by themselves in the first 48 hours. Guaranteed. So there'll only be about 5% of them left. Guaranteed they would flood going back south when they knew that the American citizen gets to take care of the job. Most farmers hire illegals. Not around here. They hire the H-1B visa workers. Now, I'm not saying there probably ain't some here that hire illegal, but this is the thing. Anybody who hires illegals need to be subject to the law too. If we take away the jobs and the free welfare and all this shit, they won't come up here. If they got to come up here and live in a cardboard box, they're not going to come up here. But what do they get? A $300 hotel room in New York while the homeless vet stays in his cardboard box. Okay? They got a job to go to. Well, the vet can't find a job. And all you got is these bleeding heart, empathy. And I'll say liberals, a lot of liberals, but there's other people that feel that way too, that, they'll sacrifice what anybody else has to make sure that they can have their dream of an utopia of illegals in their country. But they're not going to sacrifice anything they have. See, that's one thing about people who are all for these government programs and liberals and stuff. They'll sacrifice everything you have so they can get their dream. But not one thing will they sacrifice of their own. Their time or nothing, okay? Sorry, sad state of affairs, but that's the way it is. But, I feel bad for this lady's family. But maybe somebody in her family should have said, hey, I realize you're really upset like me. I'm upset with the government, but I'm not going to go out there and start punching out cops because I feel that they're infringing on my rights. Timing's everything, people. And now, like I say, now Trump has the excuse to bring a bunch of troops into Minneapolis. The troops on the street. My God, I can't wait to get in Greenland and stuff. But remember the troops on the street. I remember when they first got to D.C. and this one guy on my live stream was, they're only there for 30 days. They're leaving in 30 days. Trump said, well, it's January. It's been 5 months. And we have troops. Now we're going to have troops in Minneapolis. I mean, the thing is, Trump, can you arrest Tim Walz now? Maybe you can put Delta Force and SEAL Team 6 in there, a real super duper heavy duty operation, and go kidnap Tim Walz and arrest him. Anyway, yeah, just another way to divide people. Like when the Somalian fraud case came out, all taxpayers were, no matter what your political affiliation were, pissed and on the same side. That divisional wall had collapsed. And then all of a sudden, now they're building more walls to divide us. First with the Maduro thing, splitting the conservatives from the MAGA even more. Now with the shooting in Minneapolis, I mean, the walls are being built up so fast again. Anyway, I told the cities too when the military started coming out. I made a live stream. It's a couple live streams, and I kept stressing, you don't want the military in your town. You people best start getting along. I would say you gangsters in the hood, start helping little old lady and little old men across the street, no matter what their color is. Have videos of that going on so Trump can't have any reason to put troops in your city. But now Minneapolis is going to be the new one. Okay? Troops in our street. Boy, has this country changed. All I know is when Trump was president-elect, let's just say the thrill has gone away. Now it's more, holy shit, what's going to happen tomorrow? Okay? And this is what we're dealing with. Sure appreciate everybody being here. Before we go on to the next topic, please hit that thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification. And I do got a super chat button there. Don't be afraid to drop a couple bucks if you wouldn't mind. Have the cities do their job. The thing is, our government politicians that we vote these people into office need to do their jobs. Whether it be city, school board members, sheriff's departments, state governments, federal governments, boards for co-ops. These people need to start doing their damn job. Okay? But the only thing they seem to be able to do real good is get people to get at each other's throats. Anyway, yeah, this Minnesota thing ain't going away. Boy, that state, I'm so glad I got out of there. I moved out of there 3 years ago. I had to get out. I couldn't take it no more. It's like I was having nightmares. And they're all coming true. It's like God was sitting there putting this image, you need to get out. Get me so a feeling where I had to not get out. The feeling where I felt like I was escaping. Yeah, escaping. Anyway, let's get into Trump and this Greenland talk. Whoo! Where was this talk in the election? Does anybody ever remember him saying the word Greenland, we're going to take it over in the election? And, he would, and then he would say it when he first got president, and then he said he was just joking around about it. But now it sounds like either Denmark, Greenland's going to become part of the United States, or we'll fight whole Europe for it. Now, I do believe Greenland has something to do with the Golden Dome he wants to create. It's strategic, people. Whether it be the materials there, the positioning of it, it's strategic, okay? And, the people of Greenland, after seeing videos of America, would you want to become part of America? Boy, we'll welcome you as citizens. But don't we got to compete with all the illegals in your country? The H-1B visa workers in your country. And, I see you got homeless that's running rampant in this country. And people are lazy and don't give a shit. and your politicians are making the American citizen a second-class citizen while they sit there in their golden mansions. You know, why must we acquire all this extra land? I mean, we haven't acquired a state since Hawaii. What is the big change now? Why do we need all of this land? Technically, our population is the American population of Americans is not growing. I think it's actually going down, where more people are dying than are being born of American citizens. I mean, not birthright American citizens. I'm talking American citizens that had American parents, okay? So why do we need Greenland? Don't we have military bases there? I think we have a Navy base and probably an Air Force base. Why do we have to take the country over? They haven't been unfriendly to the United States. The United States, just like anything else, probably rules the way it wants. But now we're flat out saying Greenland's going to be ours, whether they like it or not. They're trying to buy it. Oh my God, that was the 1800 shit, people. The last thing we bought was Alaska from Russia. This isn't the Louisiana Purchase anymore, people. Those days are done over. And I don't see Denmark. I believe they're in charge of Greenland. They're not just going to give up Greenland. Nobody gives up territory anymore these days without a war. But then I heard some YouTuber, well, if Greenland votes that it wants to be part of the U.S., well, I know there's a certain part of eastern Ukraine that voted to be part of Russia, and they're not allowed to be part of Russia. No one said he wasn't. Judge Nutley, I can judge you for choosing false ideology. God judges people. We need to all get along. Okay? We just need to start all getting along. I mean, are we all going to decide to get along after the nukes go up? You know, that one short I made, things we might miss this following year. Watch that whole short once, all the way to the end. It's a good short. That's one thing. I do appreciate all the great comments I get from people. You know, I get a lot of negative comments. That's one thing. When your channel grows, you know, you get the people that don't like you and stuff. But, you know, I get one of them comments to 50 good comments. So, you know, they're in the minority. And I do appreciate all the positive comments, you know, because getting on YouTube can be kind of draining. You're targeted, you're insulted, you're shadow banned, trying to get the word out. It's very uncomplimentary job. Not a job, not like I make a lot of money at it, but, you know, I want to get the word out. I mean, Americans need to wake up. All you people that were for the Maduro capture, I mean, come on. How is that right? How is this Greenland shit right? How is the list that was, we're going to be released, but then it was not released. It was a hoax. It was sitting on my desk, truckloads of evidence. No, it's a hoax. You believe it's real. I don't need you. You called us a bunch of damn names. And then they're it does exist. We're redacting 90% of it, if not 100%. Right? And now this Greenland, troops in the street. It sure ain't the country before the election. I'd say it's changed a little bit. And whether it be current dynamics that caused it, or all this hatred towards Trump, where Trump just finally blew his lid and I'm not going to let people insult me no more, it went rogue. I do believe we may have a rogue administration. that is not looking out. I don't know how taking over Greenland and kidnapping the Cuban president and the Mexican president and the Colombian president and bringing them to the United States for trial under United States statutes, and then taking over Greenland with force if necessary. I don't understand how it's making America great again. I mean, I'm not a bully. I don't feel our country should be a bully. I don't go over to my neighbors because I can kick his ass and say, your car's mine because I can kick your ass. Okay? And that's just the way it's got to be. That would be insanity. I mean, it doesn't give us a good image. I mean, this is not our culture and our society and what the American mindset's about. It's not about taking over other countries like we've done in Iraq, Libya, Syria, just name it. We are becoming the big bully on the elementary playground. And I did that short about Teddy Roosevelt. President Teddy Roosevelt said, speak softly and carry a big stick. That's kept the country safe. Now it's Trump says, speak loudly and threatening as you're swinging the big stick. And that's supposed to make America great again. I don't understand. And then he's making all these precedents, setting these new precedents, and he ain't going to be in power very much longer. And let's get into that. Trump's worried about, if we don't win the midterms, I'm going to be impeached. No shit, buddy. You're not only going to be impeached, but they're warming up your cell already. Because remember how long it took them to impeach you the second time? What was it? Under 10 hours? So you can pretty much know that when the Democrats take over, it's not if they're taking over, they're going to take over. You know why? Trump? Because a lot of us Republicans aren't going to vote for you anymore. Constitutional conservatives aren't going to vote for you anymore. Because you called us a bunch of names, because we thought you told us the list was real. We know it's real, and you said it was a hoax. Okay? And you're losing voters all the time. See, Republicans aren't going to go out and vote for the Democrats. Guarantee you that. They're just not going to come out and vote. Why should we? What the hell did we get? Okay? Tell me what we got that you said. Oh, we're going to get the illegals out of here. Well, it's going to take them 40 years. But, all this protesting they didn't do nothing about, and now a lady got killed. But now they're going to send in the military to shut down Minneapolis. We'll solve the problem with more might. Our might will make things right. Instead of like I say, how about let's arrest Biden and Obama and Bush for letting these sons of bitches in, for dereliction of duty. At least make it so they're censured, their record, something. So something's on their record saying, this president was a fucking idiot who didn't enforce the laws, and now some woman 25 years later died because of it. See, politicians are never held accountable for the damage that their retarded actions cause, okay? They'll never be held accountable. Like the families that lost young girls and women to these illegals that raped and killed them. You didn't see Joe Biden over that Athens, Georgia, I don't remember her name. You didn't see Joe Biden or Merrick Garland or anything go to prison for that, did you? For involuntary manslaughter or, anything. Accessory to a crime. Allowing an illegal in this country that's going to do bad things to America is harboring a criminal, I would say. So anyway, but yeah, he's going to be impeached, people. And all you mega people that have insulted, I got a channel canceled before the election because of what I was saying about the liberals and Joe Biden and stuff. I was hammering them back. But then again, at the same time, Trump was lying through his fucking teeth. But anyway, people now, and then I have liberals attacking me, right? Now that Trump's in office and I don't agree with it, what he's doing, I got the MAGA attacking me. And I will say, MAGA is definitely worse than the liberals. But now they're attacking me. You know, and I love how here and say, well, you must be a liberal then. No, I'm a constitutional conservative. You mean both you liberals and you MAGA retards on both ends don't realize that there's people in the middle? Like 70% of us are in the middle, but you got 15% fringe right and 15% fringe left, with the 70% of us in the middle? You know, you fringe liberals and MAGA want to have a freaking civil war? Go for it. I'll just sit it out, because I'm definitely not going to go to war in this country that's made up by political parties, okay? Both political parties are bad. Wings of the same bird, people, wings of the same bird. Anyway, if you like the content, please hit the thumbs up, the subscribe, and the bell notification. Anything to help the channel grow. YouTube's a little hard on me. Yes, we need a constitutional convention. The problem with the constitutional convention, though, okay, remember the Tea Party. What happened to the Tea Party? It got hijacked by the elites that wanted to destroy it. The big money that needed to destroy it, they destroyed the Tea Party. They infiltrated it and destroyed it. Why I bring that up is because a constitutional convention, everything can be changed. We can go from our Constitution to a Communist Manifesto. Yeah, that's the dangers with a constitutional convention. It can be hijacked, and we can be something way worse ratified than what we got now. The thing is, we need to reinstate the Constitution. We need to sit there. There are many ways to do it. Tax revolts, one, defund our government. Okay, federal government. State citizens taking their states back, like Minnesota citizens taking over the state capital and taking their state back. Because I really don't think the federal government can get involved in states' issues when the state citizens have had enough and they want their state back. And all other states start taking their states back. Take the power away from the government. But if we don't want to do it that way, then all us vets, the well-regulated militia in this country, which would be us vets, we start having training exercises. Like I say, imagine 4 million armed vets training to become a well-regulated army around D.C. And at the same time, all 50 states, the vets are getting together and performing training exercises, because the last thing is want all your eggs in the same boat, right? In the same basket. And that would send a signal to them. I mean, I would love to see 4 million vets training to become an army outside of Washington, D.C., where all armed, where no civilian force could touch you, no military. I mean, our military, between our military and all our federal and civilian cops, wouldn't even add up to 4 million people. And then, like I say, at the same time, it's going on in every 50 states. We would spread them so thin. But that would be a message, nonviolent. Just showing them that the well-regulated militia is starting to organize, okay? Because a well-regulated militia is supposed to protect the Constitution and the American citizen, not the federal government. Remember that. Not. The Second Amendment is to protect the Constitution and the American citizen, not the federal government. It's supposed to fear the militia, the well-regulated militia, and the Second Amendment. All right? Once we get our government back into fearing the people, maybe it'll start being serving the people. We need to put the politicians at their servile level, what they want it to be. Like I say, I don't understand why a billionaire would want to go to public office and become my bitch servant. But you know what? You are my bitch servant. And that's why I'll talk to you down to you, okay? Because that's my job as your boss. Anyway, because I tell you what, a servant's not above me. Cottonmouth One, thank you for being here. Waltz to jail. Yeah, I don't understand why it hasn't happened yet. I mean, Maduro, you planned it for months. How hard can it be to go arrest Tim Waltz? But you don't have enough evidence? But Nick Shirley didn't show you enough? Bullshit, okay? With as much crooked shit that man's in, that just shows you can really hide somebody's past if they want them to be popular. Like I say, I used to work where Tim Waltz came from. And I went to change my plates from Minnesota to Nebraska. In Nebraska, they do a VIN check. Well, the sheriff, the deputies were busy, so the sheriff did it, right? Saw my plates. He goes, oh, first thing he goes to me, what do you think of your governor there? And I said, that's why I moved out of there. And this is the sheriff talking like this. And the sheriff just basically started venting to me because he used to be superintendent of schools there. Everybody hates him there, even his family. Okay, they all know he's an idiot. So the sheriff is venting to me, telling him how much screwed up he is. And I told him, yeah, I was having nightmares in Minnesota. I couldn't take it no more. So that, he was a good sheriff for that county. I really liked him. But, when the sheriff is venting because of Tim Waltz, I'm just sitting there. It's like, boy, too much information. I'm from Minnesota. I didn't know this much about him. I mean, I'm talking to basically the guy next door that lived next door to him that's just filling me in about Tim Waltz. He's a piece of shit, man. He is a piece of shit. Anyway, cry, 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 big guy. True Americans don't play liberal bullshit. You know why he isn't arrested? God only knows. Because he's got the inside scoop on what's the Epstein list and stuff, and they're afraid if they arrest the wrong person's going to start, squealing. I mean, that's only Tim Waltz, that guy, said that guy who murdered those Democratic senator and stuff and her family in Minnesota said Tim Waltz hired him. And that guy was appointed by Tim Waltz, and he was part of the helping Somalians adjust to life in the United States. Okay? God only knows what was going on with that. Anyway, but yeah, why we wanted Tim Waltz arrested, not Maduro. I'm not saying Maduro's a good guy, but you just can't go around kidnapping presidents from other countries because you want to. I mean, even say kidnapping. That's against the law, isn't it? Because they both of the same bird, Waltz and Trump. Politicians, they hate us. Everyone in D.C. hates you. No matter if they got R or D behind their name, they hate you. They're not there to serve you. They're there to serve the big lobbyists that stick money in their pocket. I always say, Democrats want to babysit you. Republicans want to control you. Which one do you want? I'm not taking either goddamn one. I want to be a free man. I know I need to calm down a little bit, but I wish other people could see what's coming. Stop it before it gets here. And say, well, maybe it won't happen. I'll take my chances. We can keep going down this path, and eventually things will turn around. I mean, it's only the first week of the year, people. It's only the first week. We got 51 more weeks to go. This is beyond crazy. I've never been more fearful of nukes falling in a year than I do now. And the main reason is because the U.S. foreign policy has turned into conquest. Why do we need Greenland? Anyway, and then why would Greenland want to join a country that's $38 trillion in debt that we know about? I mean, why would you want to hitch your wagon to that shit? Why would you want to hitch your wagon to a country that's pissing the rest of the world off? Like I say, without 350 million people in this country are all of a sudden against 8 billion, I wonder if the Americans going to wake up. See, I always say the rest of the world's looking at us Americans and saying, you going to do something? You going to rise up against your government and do something before the rest of the world has to do something about it, and then we'll be occupied? I mean, eventually, no matter how tough everybody thinks we are, we can be taken down, people. All right? And that's what's coming. And plus, we're destroying ourselves in the process. People need to start getting along. Please, you people that are against ICE, let ICE do their job uninterrupted so they don't have to worry about their lives being in danger. I mean, remember that thing in Texas a few months ago where that guy was shooting off the roof where they're bringing the illegals and ended up killing illegals instead? This stuff has got to stop. We have legal ways to come into this country. And it's not because, my asylum, this is so stupid. You know, to get asylum in this country, you used to have to land a MiG, okay, a Russian MiG on one of our airfields or something, or give up a submarine or something. Not sit there and say you're a poor bastard wearing name brand clothes and wearing more jewelry that's worth more money than people make in a year. Okay, I don't believe you for a second. Okay? Anyway. Oh, you are another one of those Fed asset. Why do people think that? I mean, I want you to have your freedom back, buddy. You know, you think I'm a Fed? Well, when you find out that I got shot down in a 6 a.m. no-knock raid, I guess you'll find out I wasn't. And if you don't want to be free and you want to take that attitude that I'm an agitator or somebody that's in the crowd trying to get everybody agitated to go against the Feds, you're nuts. I want to organized, dissolve the dissolution of the federal government we got now. I mean, I got people, oh, you're a Fed. Oh, you're AI generated. But they don't watch none of my other content. You know, when I first got out of the Marine Corps, I started getting into politics. I got together with this congressman from Minnesota and stuff. I started getting into politics. Started going to these rallies and stuff. And I dressed in a suit and I had the military look and stuff. And half the people thought I was security. The other half thought I was running for office. So the thing is, the way I stood out, I was getting approached by these people that basically what it came down to, I was being probed to see if I could be bought. Because they want people that draw attention, that have charisma, that can get people to listen to them. And we're talking, 30 years ago before the gray hair and stuff. But I basically told them, fuck you. I saw how politics was run, just how they approached me. See if we can get this guy. Hey, people will look at him. People will watch him, listen to him. And we can sit there and buy him. And that even made me more angry about the system. You are AI. AI live stream, I like it. Hey, my horse is AI. Whatever. But I know AI is getting really tricky. And then I did a short today too. I go, when we can't differentiate between reality and fantasy because of AI, the government will have us exactly where they want us. And I've done plenty of videos on AI. Not good. Artificial intelligence is going to eliminate HI, human intelligence. It's a sad state of affairs, people. This country's just falling apart at the seams. And now we're going after Greenland. Trump's worried about being impeached. Like I say, Trump, you're going to go from impeachment straight to jail this time. Straight to jail. And then in 4 years, when the Democrats have the House, Senate, and the presidency, and they load the Supreme Court with 15 justices, and they have the Supreme Court. Thanks, Trump. Appreciate it. Did a good job there, buddy. Gave the Democrats all the authority and they needed to sit there and continue their job. Just they're going to affect other Americans' lives. Straight from the horse's ass. Hey, Orange Sunrise, you're back. Anyway, did you see that? See that short I did about calling a horse? What was that? Calling a politician a horse's ass is disrespecting a horse, but they're still both full of shit. You gotta have some fun on YouTube sometimes, right? Anyway, that was a good one. Hey, like I say, I try to come up with some comedy too. Hey, and like I say, if you watch it here and want to watch the rest of my content, there's one video I want you to check out. Grandma ran over a liberal reindeer. It was a tribute to that Target employee that got harassed just before Christmas. That older, I can't remember what her Janie was her name or whatever. Anyway, check that. Grandma ran over a liberal reindeer. That's a good one. Anyway, YouTube didn't like that one either. And that's another thing with the social media. The last thing they want is a liberal Democrat to come in here and say, you know what? This guy may be a constitutional conservative, but he can see the country's messed up just like I am. I mean, eventually it's going to get so bad in this country that we're all going to forget about our differences. Like I say, I watch videos now of people guys from the hood that are, it's time to drop our differences. It's time to get our country back. We're all Americans. And then we'll deal with our little issues afterwards. Basically, the issues are getting so big, it's going to bring Americans together instead of apart. But yeah, Trump, you're going to be impeached. No shit. And then we're going to have military in the streets and red cities everywhere. And remember, the Democrats don't have no problem with 6 a.m. no-knock raids killing people in their homes. Or when they come running out of their house in their underwear because they're scared out of their mind. It'd be nice to get our constitutional republic back instead of, we got a Republican democracy in charge now. All you Democrats like our Republican democracy, and then when the Democrats will have our democratic democracy, and then the MAGA won't like the democratic democracy. But see, if we went back to a constitutional republic like this country is, we wouldn't be having such issues because the government has to obey the Constitution. And not because, I feel this way, or like Trump. When is Congress going to get involved and stop this shit? Greenland, and then Cuba, and then Mexico. Good thing we're not at war with Ukraine or Russia because we just seem to want to take over the world without a war. Conquering the world without firing a shot. Boy, I bet you Hitler wish he could have done that. Anyway. Crazy times, people, crazy times. Like I say, I'm not going to say what my live stream is going to be about tomorrow. I would like to take tomorrow night off, but I'm sure it's not going to be allowed to. 1 week into this year already, and it's just, woo, what more can we take? I'm just really curious if Trump would actually take Greenland with the military. We don't need it to begin with, but why would Denmark take a bunch of worthless cash for Greenland? I mean, it's like people, I have people offer me my one horse thousands of dollars. Why won't you take it? Because instead of having beauty, I have worthless green pieces of paper in my pocket. Doesn't make no sense to me to get rid of something that's worth money for useless money or has value give it away for worthless money. Why? Why in your right mind would you do that? If Trump didn't want Greenland, Trump wants Greenland, so he must see some potential there to make America great again. Don't you think Denmark wants to make? Anyway, crazy time, people. Should Denmark have to fight back? That's the question. Why the hell should Denmark have to fear the United States taking a piece of their land or their country? But they should fight back. Well, if they get their ass kicked or not, eventually somebody's going to stand up to the U.S. Okay? And I'm telling everybody in the U.S. now, you are not ready for what's coming. Not even. YouTube disconnect me again. Sorry about that. YouTube don't like it when too many people come to my live stream, so they start chopping it down. So it's almost been an hour. What's coming? Bombs falling on your street, buddy. Like I say, you think Russia is going to be the only one that has to endure bomb hits and stuff? But you know what? You can prepare like you want. You can prepare that tomorrow's going to be the same as today, which is just a bad thing to prepare. I mean, a bad thing to wish for anyway. I live my life under the philosophy that I want to be a better person tomorrow than I was today. Always try to better myself every day. Okay? It's a good philosophy to live by. Do a good deed. Try to warn people what's coming. And like I say, maybe I have a little bit more insight because I was in the military. I don't know what to tell you people. But then again, I'm trained and experienced. So it's not going to be as hard for me to survive. But the average American civilian, it's going to be a bad time. Have you ever seen a hillside go up? Anyway, when is it coming? That's a good question. Fuck, it could be tomorrow. I hope. You know what would be nice in this country? If we got winter. If we got winter and some cold weather that would sit there and put everybody, we need a fucking nationwide blizzard for about 2 weeks. Maybe that would calm people the fuck down. Let everybody get snowed in. Okay? You never know. It could happen now. Put it this way. We'll know after it happens, all right? They're not going to give us forewarning, okay? But whatever. Like I say, I just seeing other human beings have to suffer that don't have to suffer because our politicians are making irrational decisions, not fulfilling the oaths of their office. If you want to be president or hold public office, it's not a popularity contest, okay? You got to be thick-skinned. You got to do your job the right way no matter who's against it or who's going to ridicule you for it. If you're doing the right thing and somebody's ridiculing you for it and you know you're doing the right thing, it shouldn't matter to you. But then we got some people that think running over ICE agents when they're trying to do their job is the right thing to do. Got to stop buying into all this hate, people. That's not what Americans were about. Yes, we are a melting pot of migrants that came here to be Americans. To live under one flag, one culture, one language. Okay? Not one religion. But they came here to be Americans and to make America great. Not turn Dearborn, Michigan into the Middle East part of the Americas, or Minneapolis into Little Somalia, or Columbus, Ohio into Little Somalia. That's not what it was about. Anyway, just be careful, everybody. You never know when you're going to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, and somebody who's not mad at you specifically, but is mad at, you got a Trump sticker on your car, you got a Kamala Harris sticker on your car, whatever the case may be. For some reason, that person feels hate, and you are showing part of that thing they hate, and they decide to take it out on you. Like I say, I really wish all Americans could live in the traditional America that I live in. Leave it to Beaverland, people. Yes, Leave It to Beaverland still exists in some parts of the country. Very small, but they exist. And people like us have a hard time understanding the hate that's going on in these big cities to cause people to do this. But like I say, it boils down to our politicians, prior administrations didn't do their job securing the border. They let all the illegals in. Bush, all the way on down. And now it's become such a problem. It's coming to a head and it's bubbling. And now it's turning into American citizens. It's crazy. Can we just deport the illegals and solve one problem in our country? I don't know what we're going to do about Trump. What's it going to be tomorrow, Trump? What country are you going to tell us we need to take over tomorrow? We need to go to war with Europe because we need Greenland so bad? We're going to take Greenland from Denmark because, like I say, because they're the little guy on the block, so we can do what we want to them? Might makes right. As an American, I don't agree with that. At all. Anyway, there's no reason why somebody in another country has to worry about what our politicians are doing in D.C. more than they got to worry about what their politicians are doing in their own capital country. Because what D.C. decides affects them more. This is not what our founding fathers' idea of the nation, okay? That's not the idea. We are not a big fucking bully. We have always come to the world's rescue from the bullies of the world. Who's going to rescue the world from this big bully? Oh, I know. The other two big bullies on the block that can damage us just as much as we can damage them. Yeah, China and Russia. This is a dangerous game that's being played this year, people. A very dangerous game. Just prepare. Be able to react to whatever situation is thrown your way. If you live in a big city, you better have a bug-out plan. Okay, and one that obviously where you're not driving your car. And then when that happens, maybe when you come out of your city, you'll be ready to fight to bring America back. We need America back. Liberals, Democrats, and liberals and conservatives and the MAGA all used to get along. You had different minds. We all used to get along, have an election. I remember elections growing up, and everybody got along the next day. We can't get along. One day a politician says something, and it never ends. And then we got all this geopolitical shit going on. Anybody, like I say, anybody can't see the future of our country? You don't have your eyes open. Don't give these politicians the benefit of the doubt. None of them like you. All you are is somebody who goes to work and enables for them to sit there and rule our country and rule over you. The government was never meant to be a ruler over you. It was supposed to be a protector of you. Okay? And I don't feel very much protection anymore. Anyway, I've been on here for an hour and 5 minutes. I'm going to get out of here. I appreciate everybody being here. Stay safe, everybody. And prepare for the future. Because the future is starting to look really bleak. The thing is, if Russia and China don't bomb us, we're going to tear ourselves apart anyway. Because this these protests in Minneapolis, you know they're going to spread. They're going to spread big time. And let's say they spread to 50, 60 50 cities. And they start taking, well, look what's happening in Iran right now. Need I say more? Anyway, everybody stay safe. I appreciate everybody being here. And even the ones that get on my live stream and just try to hound me and say negative things, you're in this sinking ship too. And you're going to find out it's time to cooperate. Like I said, we settle all these big problems, maybe we can go back to our little problems. And then at solving these big problems, we realize our little problems didn't really mean shit. Anyway, shit is about to hit the fan, everybody. You outside is nice outside. Everyone, you outside is nice outside. Anyway, things are about to get wild. Really wild. Like I say, we're only a week into this year, people. Should we still be celebrating? Anyway, like I said, I appreciate everybody being here. This is Tom with Hidden Truths. I'll see you later tomorrow. Good night.